All right, guys, welcome again. Here, I'm gonna go over how to do the quiz, but following the next week. Why? I'm interested in you guys understanding how to do those problems, and you get the idea because it's gonna pop up again on the midterm and again on the final. So that's why I'm interested in on you guys understanding how you should have gotten your answers. And that way you could correlate and check your answers, guys, because I'm gonna be checking your homework on the quizzes problem by problem. I'm gonna be sending you on the message, hey, you got wrong problems number 1, 3, 7, 9, etc. and giving you a grade based off of that. So you're not just saying, I just picked random problems, guys, so you could check and correspond yourself. All right, guys, so here, I recommend that you print it out, guys, and that way it'll be easier for you guys to show your work. It's a page that is gonna come up right now with different labels of medication. It's gonna come useful right now. If you print out the exercise worksheet I told you guys to print out, it's gonna be telling you what the proper names of each thing represents in a label. Look at it, guys, or look at the PowerPoints. All right, guys, so here, let's go to problems. So problems 1 through 8 relate to the first week's exercises, guys. So here, for example, 6 3/5, they want us to write your answer as a fraction. Make sure you do it. So here, in order to do this, we have to make it improper. To do that, we multiply 5 times 6, which would be 30, plus 3 would be 33/5. When it's a division problem, you have to do the reciprocal. So it becomes a multiplication. So instead of saying 11 times 1, you're gonna put 1/11. And if you learn how to reduce, it's gonna save a lot of time. I could reduce a 33 and 11 by 11. So my answer would be 3 times 1, 3. 5 times 1, 5. So my answer would be 3/5. That's what the answer would have been for problem number 1, guys. And it's written in a fraction notation. Problem number 2. So it's 6.3. It really doesn't matter. You could do it like a fraction. You could do it like a decimal. If we do it like a decimal, so it's 6.3 divided by 3/4. If you know how to make it a decimal, it will be 0.75. You could divide that on the side, guys. So now if you do it like in a decimal notation, it's 6.3 divided by 0.75. We need to move the decimal twice to the right. That means we need to move the decimal twice to the right by adding another 0. So it will be 630 divided by 75. 75 into 63 won't fit. Into 630, I guess the closest would be probably 8. Maybe I pass it. But this is the division, guys. It's trial and error. 8 times 5, 40. Carry a 4. 8 times 7, it would be 56. 56 plus 4 would be 60. All right, so as long as the number's a little bit smaller, cool, you're on the right track. Bring down the 30, put a decimal, put down another 0, so you could keep on going, and then you keep on dividing. 75 into 300, let's try 4. 4 times 5, 20, we carry a 2. 4 times 7, 28, plus 2 exactly, so my answer would be 8.4. That should have been the correct answer. If you do it like in a fraction notation, you would have gotten 8 4/10. But if you reduce that, the correct answer should have been 8 2/5. So either I accept 8.4 or 8 2/5. This one, let's do it from there, guys. So we could put an invisible 1 on the bottom. And even though it's decimal, it still work out, guys. 0.13 and 52, you could divide by 0.13. How many 0.13s fit in a 0.13? So 1. Here we would be dividing by 0.13s. We move the decimal twice to the right, means we add 2 zeros. You divide, and that would have given you 400. So I'm kind of reducing, guys. I know it's kind of weird, but it works. Here I could divide by 21. 21 goes into 21 once. 21 goes into that big number. It looks like 4 times. And then the 2 zeros, put 400. My 400s again cancel. So guess what? All of that work, and I get 5. 5 should have been the right answer for that corresponding problem. 4, they want us to round off to the nearest hundreds. So you have to divide 1 divided by 75. We put a decimal, we add a 0. 75 won't fit into 10, we put a 0. We add another 0. 75 into 100 at least once. Remainder of 25, you put another 0. 75 into 250, probably 3. So 3 times 5, 15, we carry 1. 3 times 7, 21, plus 1, 22, and so on. They want to round off to the nearest hundreds. The hundreds would be the 1. To the right, you have a 3. The 3 won't help out that 1, so your answer stays at 0.01. Because it's asking you to round, guys. I will mark it wrong if you're not rounding correctly. Okay, guys, hopefully that's helping you a little bit. Let's do the problems on the bottom. So I have to erase so you can see the other ones. Pause the video if I'm going too fast, guys. Put it in slower speed. You tell me, whatever works for you guys. All right, guys, so problems 5 onward, they want to round down to the nearest tens. So again, 20 divided by 7. The first number is your numerator. It's the number that goes inside of the box. The second number, your denominator, goes outside. 7 into 20, almost 3, so for sure twice. 14, remainder 6, put a decimal, add a 0. 7 into 60, 8, 56, remainder 4, bring down a decimal, and so on and so on. You get the idea, guys. Okay, so here we're going to go on forever. Okay, so then we're going to round to the tens, which would be the 8. It says round down. Even though it's a 5, a 9, whatever number, you really ignore it. So the correct answer there that I was looking for was 2.8. Number 6, 0.77 divided by 0.3. We have to move the decimal once to the right. We move it once to the right. So it's 7.7 divided by 3. 3 goes into 7 twice, 6, remainder 1, bring down the 7. 3 into 17, almost 6, but for sure 5, which would be 15, remainder 2, and so on. So 3 into 20, almost 7, 6, 18, and so on. It's going to go on forever. So here it says round off to the nearest tens. The tens would be your 5. To the right, we have a 6. It helps it up. So the correct answer I was looking for would be 2.6. Cool? 7, guys. Sorry that I have to erase. We have 0.56 divided by 1.9. So here, either you do some in your calculators, guys, because the 0.9, guys, that means we're going to have to move the decimal once to the right. That means you add it by another 0. So it's 10 nines if you see it like a fraction. Let's leave it like a fraction. 1 over divided by 0.9 is the same thing as 10 divided by 9. Now, here, the 0.56, let me show you how to make it like a fraction. It will be 56 over 100. Really. When it's a division problem, it becomes a multiplication and we do the reciprocal. So it becomes 9 tenths. I know it's kind of weird, but now I'm working it like in a fraction format. You could do it with your calculator. I'll do it right now and show you how you could do it with a decimal notation. We try to reduce. Try. It's not always the case. The only thing I really could reduce, I guess, would be the 56 and the 10 by half. So that becomes a 5. That becomes a 28 if I'm not mistaken. I could divide those numbers by 4. That's 7, and that will be a 25. I believe that's it. So 9 times 7, which would be 63. 5 times 25, 5 quarters, $1.25, so 125. My answer in a fraction format would be 63 over 125. From there, that's not helping a lot because I could still need to make it a decimal around to the thousands. I know it's taking a while, but oh well. So it will be 630 divided by 125. Let's try there 5 in my pass, but let's try 5. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 2, 10, plus 2, 12, we carry 1. All right, so we barely made it. Remainder 5, another 0. So 125 into 50, 0. We put another 0. 125 into 500, let me try 4. 4 times 5, 10, 20, we'll carry a 2. 4 times 2, 8, plus 2, 10. 4 times 1, 4, exactly. So we have exactly 0.504. They wanted to round to the thousands, so there's really nothing to round. You have exactly that number. If you would have given me the fraction notation, I would have also taken it, as long as it's reduced and simplified. That's cool, guys. Sorry, guys, but a lot of problems, but it's helping you guys to calculate the correct dosage. You see why. So 5 sevenths divided by 100. Let's do it like a fraction format. So 5 7 divided by 100 times 200 divided by 7. It's the same problem, just written in a fraction format, so you're able to work it out. So the only one that needs to flip would be this section. So the problem becomes 5 sevenths times 1 over 100 times 200 over 7. Cool? It's the same way. I know I should have written it like that, but it becomes that. Try to reduce by 100 once, 2. I believe that's it. So 2 times 5 would be 10. 7 times 7 would be 49. So my answer is 10 49s. And that's basically how I wanted it to be written as a fraction. You do it like a fraction, really. Sometimes it's way easier than doing it in a decimal notation format. All right, 9, guys. They want us to write the ratio. Ratio, it's separated by a colon. It could also be separated by the word 2. It could be written like a fraction. So it's just nothing more than a fraction, 25 over 50. I could divide both numbers by 25, so my correct answer would be 1 to 2. So I could write it like a fraction, I could put the colon, or I could literally write the word 2. So either one of those three answers could be accepted. Sounds good? But make sure it's written in the lowest terms. If you just say, I don't know, 4/8 or whatever other number you came up with, and it's not reduced to the lowest terms, I'm not going to count it right. Express the ratio 24 to 36, so 24 over 36. I could divide both numbers by 8. No, not 8, but for sure 4. Maybe 6. Why not? Let's divide both numbers by 6. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 6 goes into 36. 6 times, I could have divided by 12. My bad. Let's divide again by 2. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So my correct answer is 2/3. Just keep on reducing, guys. As long as those numbers have something in common, you keep on going. So the right answer there should have been 2/3. Cool? All right, so let's delete those. And let's go over to the ones on the above. So now problems 11 onwards, we're almost there, guys. On 11, they want us to find that denominator, the numerator that's missing given that proportion, that equivalent fraction. So we have 3/5 equals blank over 100. Easy way to do it, cross multiply and divide. That's called the rule of 3. In Mexico, I'm pretty sure some of you guys might know it. So you just multiply and divide. So 3 times 100 would be 300 divided by 5. 5 goes into 300, 60 times. So the numerator we were missing will be 60. Another way to see this one, 5 times what is 100? Well, the factor you're using is 20. So you multiply by that same factor. So what's 3 times 20? 60. If you could see the factor, it goes easy. Let's try finding the factor. 4 times what is 8? 2. So that means I have to multiply both numbers by 2. So my answer there would be 6. If you cross multiply and divide, it would also give you the right answer. Sorry for the typo, guys. So it says which is larger, 7/10 or 24/100. See it like money. You could add another invisible zero. 70 cents or 24 cents was of course 0.70 or 0.7 would be bigger. Percentage, you could do it with the proportion method. The word of represents the total. So 80 is all of it. It's 100%. We want to know what is 20%. And we do the same thing I was kind of showing you right now, where you could cross multiply and divide. You don't even have to worry about making the percents a decimal. So 80 times 20 would be 1600 divided by 100. We'll just take away 2 zeros. So my answer would be 16. You can see it mentally, 10% of that would be 8. Another 10% would be another 8. 8 plus 8 would be 16. However, you see math, guys. Math is kind of easy where you could show your stuff and there's different ways to get to the correct answer. 15, the number of patients in the hospital has increased from 160 to 200. What is the percent change? Percent change, let me give you the formula. The new minus the old divided by the old. The new amount has increased from 160 to 200. So the new amount would be 200. The old amount would be 160. I have to subtract first and divide that by 160. And that's always going to give you the percent change, percent difference on anything. So 200 minus 160 would be 40. 40 divided by 160 will give us the percent change in this example. 160 divided by 400. The closest, I guess, would be, let's try it twice. So 0, that would be 32. Remainder 80, we'll put another 0. 160 into that big number. Let's try 5. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 6, 30. We carry a 3. 5 times 1 plus 3, exactly, no leftover. So we have 0.25, but to make that a percent, you move it twice to the right. So your answer would be 25%. There's an increase, a change, a difference of 25% from one to the other. Cool? And one more, hopefully we could do it from there. That way I don't have to scroll up that much, but it's very similar. A patient weighed 400 pounds before a diet. After the program, she weighed 280, so she decreased her weight. What was the percent change again? So the new amount is 280. Minus 400. I know it's going to be negative. That means it's a decrease. That's fine, guys. And then that, we're still going to divide by the old amount, which would be 400. So here we want to subtract. When you're subtracting, but you subtract regularly, guys. Just take in mind that your answer would be negative. So there's a leftover of 120. We want to know what's 120 out of 400. If you see it like fractions, you try to reduce and it saves before you divide. 12 and 40 are factors of 4, so that would be 3/10. If I divide 3/10, if you make it a decimal, it will be 0.3, which is 30%. But because when we subtract, it would be a negative answer, that means it's a negative 30% decrease. Negative means the patient decrease. Positive numbers, the patient increase. Almost there, guys. Hopefully you're getting the same responses, the same results when you guys were taking your quiz. All right, guys, so problem number 17. What is the trade name for alprazolam? Here, let me duplicate the screen. That way, hopefully this helps a little bit. That's why I tell you guys to print it out. It'll be easier to navigate. So here, my bad. Sorry for the screen, guys, but all right, so we're trying to look for alprazolam, the trade name, guys. So when let's make the screen bigger because we're gonna have a hard time. So alprazolam, guys, represents the generic name. The top section is the trade name. The bottom section represents the generic name. Well, there it is. So what is the trade name? Xanax. That's a correct answer you should have written for that response, guys. Cool? So right here, as long as you write Xanax, I will take it, guys. What is the route of administration of clindamycin? So let's go to find that medication. So it could either be the trade name or I could have given you the generic name. So just hover through them. And then once you find it, there it is, kind of blurry, but keep on going. For intramuscular or intravenous use. So either you have to write intramuscular or intravenous use. It's telling you right there, guys, come on. Just learn to read those labels. That's the main goal I'm trying to write in those. So here we're trying to find the generic name for Crixivan. So let's go back to the page. So let's go scroll. There is Crixivan. You find it. What's the generic name? It will be always shown below the trade name. Indinavir sulfate. As long as you write that, that would have been the right answer that I was looking for. How many milligrams of losartan potassium are in one tablet of Hysar? So we're trying to look for Hysar. And of course the losartan potassium ingredient. So let's find Hysar. There you are. So some medications have two main ingredients. This one has losartan potassium and hydrochlorothiazide. Oh, sorry, I know, but weird names, right, guys? So here we're talking about the first ingredient. If you notice, the first ingredient is 100 milligrams. The second ingredient will be 25 milligrams. So the right answer was 100 milligrams. If you write all of it, I would give you credit, but the main one is as long as you write 100 mgs, because that's what represents the ingredient I was asking for on reading that label. Where are we? What is the dosage strength for sampler injection? So let's go look for the sampler as an injection. Sometimes there might be sampler in capsules, like in this case, and there's also sampler as an injection. So some of you guys, oh, I found sampler. It's 2 micrograms. No, it'll be wrong. This one represents as a capsule. Look at the right label. Here's the sampler for the injection. The right answer will be 5 micrograms per milliliter. As long as you wrote that, it would have been correct. See, some of you guys are not being attentive to the details. This is really what this class is about. You got to be really attentive to the details that they want you when you guys are working in the medical field. Controlled substance, if you look at the notes, the PowerPoint, guys, you will see a big C. So the only one out of these medications I gave you, not out of your own mind, guys, out of this page, you have the C right here, the Xanax. That would be a controlled substance. This is how easy you could identify a controlled substance out of the different labels that you have, guys. So Xanax would have been the right answer there. Here we're trying to find by the NDC number 009. So let's try to find that number on the labels, and I'm asking for how many milliliters are contained. All right, so first let's find the 009. So I know it's kind of small, guys, but you got to look for those numbers. Here's 009, but I don't think it has the rest of the numbers. Super tiny, but it's 006. There it is, 009, 775, 20. Double check that you have your numbers. 009, 0775, 20. Okay, so you compare it and you found it. So here, this thing has 4 milliliters. 150 milligrams per milliliter, but this injection in general has 4 milliliters because they were asking how many milliliters are you going to find in that active ingredient? Because the answer is 4 mLs. Cool. That's what I was looking for in that response. And what is the dosage strength of Crixivan? So let's go again to the labels and let's try to find the Crixivan. There it is. So the dosage strength is 200 mgs. That's it, guys. Don't break your head. Just learn to read the labels. How many milligrams of hydrochloroquine are containing 1 tablet of Hysar? So let's go to Hysar as a tablet. Hysar, there you are. I'm asking for the second ingredient, so the right answer would be 25 mgs. You don't have to write all of it. The main part is that you write which ingredient they're asking for. The right answer would be 25 mgs. Cool? Don't fall for it when you guys are taking the midterm or final. It will pop up again. And what is the generic name for the drug that contains that number? So another one to find 006-571. So 006-571. There it is, 43. Double check that you have the same numbers. Yep, found it. So once you find it, I'm asking not for the trade name. If you put Crixivan, I'm going to mark it wrong, even though it's the right answer. The question I'm asking here is the generic name, which would be indinavir sulfate. This is what I was looking for. Cool? Hopefully that helps clear up what to do with the labels. And we're almost done. We're almost done, guys. The next set of problems, a little bit of math, guys. It says a drug is ordered 20 milligrams daily. How many milligrams would you administer in a week's total consumption? Let's assume a week has 7 days, right? So 20 mgs per day times 7. We just need to multiply that by 7. So that's going to be 140 mgs. You will give in the whole week's consumption. That's what I was looking for in that response. 28, a drug is ordered 20 mgs BID. Here, if you look at the PowerPoints, if you look at the worksheet I was talking about, BID stands for twice a day. So that means we got to do a drug is ordered 20 milligrams twice a day. So that means times 2. So that means it's 40 mgs per day. How many milligrams will you administer in a 5-day prescription? So 40 mgs times 5. So that means we're going to give them 200 mgs in that week. Well, not necessarily that week, in that 5 days. They want to have that prescription. 29, a drug is ordered 20 mgs. Q stands for every, cada, every 4H, every 4 hours. So how many 4 hours do we have in a period of a day? A day has 24 hours. We would divide it by 4. There's 6. There's 6 every 4 hours in a day. So we need to multiply that by 6. So how many milligrams will you administer in a week's total? That means we multiply that by 6. There's 120 mgs in a day. And then the whole week, that means we have to multiply that by 7. So 7 times 0, 7 times 2, 14, carry 1. So that means it will be 840 milligrams in that week. Hopefully that clears it up, guys. A drug is ordered 95 mgs TID. TID stands for 3 times in a day. So how many milligrams will you administer in a 5-day prescription? So this times 3 and then times 7 because it's, times 5 because we're doing it in a 5-day consumption. So 3 times 5 would be 15, so it's 95 times 15. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 9, 45 plus 2, 47. 19 was 95, guys. Sorry. So 5 plus 7, 12, carry 1. So it'll be 1,425 milligrams in that 5-day period when they're taking it 3 times in a day. Cool, guys. Hopefully that works. That helped out, clear up any misunderstanding or what was I correctly looking for. Thank you, guys.